advancing the power of education around the world. Welcome to the Cyanna Podcast.
Guys, welcome back again. Excited to be here with three of my cohorts from Cyanna Education Services. Extremely excited to be talking about top 5 reasons why cosmetology schools select EDlumina. So we're going to get into a little bit about what that means and what EDlumina is. But first, let's start off with some introductions and a little bit of background on Cyanna. So I'll start right to left here on your screen. Ashley, welcome to the show. Give us a little bit of information on what you do for Cyanna.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Ashley Gottschalk. I am the account executive for EDlumina. So I work with all of our brand new clients to inform them about what EDlumina is. So it is a student management system, and I'm sure we're going to talk a lot more about that today.
That's
so,
right.
Yes.
Excellent. Sully.
Yes, Mark Sullivan, President of Cyanna Education Services. Really oversee all the operations of our big 3 products and services: consulting, EDlumina, and curriculum development.
Excellent. And Samantha.
I am Samantha Bauer. I am our implementation and support manager. So I help all of our clients get implemented and really understand how they run their schools, and then also run our support team.
Great. Now, you guys have been on the road a lot lately. The in-person conferences are back, and been traveling around a lot. And specifically for today's topic, we will be talking specifically about cosmetology schools. So you guys, we have a conference coming up, right? Which is the ACTS 2022 conference. Where is that again?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's
Yep.
right. Okay. So as we prepare for that and we look back on some of the past cosmetology conferences that we've been to this year, today we're talking about why cosmetology schools moved to EDlumina, specifically EDlumina Admissions, which is our CRM. So really quickly, Sully, can you give us a little bit of background on who Cyanna Education Services is and what is the EDlumina platform?
Sure. So Cyanna Education Services founded in 2008 with the idea of marrying compliance and technology. So we're regulatory experts. Really, we have clients in all 50 states. We are dealing currently with 10 different accreditors with clients in 4 different continents. So that's the foundation of how Cyanna was built. And then we do a lot of custom curriculum development for our clients who really want to put their stamp and their image on the content that they're delivering to either their students or to their employees. And then EDlumina is our platform that schools use to manage from lead to alumni. And the admissions piece, which we're very proud of, is designed to get leads to enrollment as quickly as possible.
Love it. So I think what sets apart EDlumina from a lot of other CRMs in the market is that it was designed by folks that work in education. And I've worked with Sully and Sam in education myself, so I can personally attest to that. But as we transition into the real meat and potatoes of this topic today, which is why cosmetology schools choose EDlumina, when we were talking about this earlier, we found what are really the top 5 reasons why cosmetology schools select the EDlumina platform. So I want to work through those with you guys and get for our listeners and our viewers a little better understanding of, what are the benefits here? Why do people make this jump? Because it can be a scary jump, right?
Yeah.
So our CRM platform, EDlumina Admissions, the number one reason why people make this jump, which is not what people would typically think, is relationships. Ashley, can you talk to us a little bit about what that means? What's it like to have like these long-term clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I would say we definitely do pride ourselves in the relationship that we build with our clients. So we are not the kind of company that sells something and then we are hands off. We are very hands-on from the moment that they sign on with us and from the moment we actually talk to them for the first time until the end of time, I guess. Really, we provide ongoing training. We do a great job with our implementation, and we really are always looking out for what is best for the client. We are not looking for what's best for us, but we're always offering great advice for admissions processes, which I know Samantha will touch on. And that's really what we value, is providing the best service and the best advice that we can give to ultimately help their school grow and thrive and be what they want it to be.
So Sam, when I think of a good example of this long-term relationship, I think of like a Douglas J. They've been on the EDlumina platform for a number of years now. Can you talk to us a little bit about that relationship specifically? Like, what's it been like? What are some of those advantages?
Sure. So Douglas J actually was on the platform prior to me getting here. And then when I started, building that relationship with them personally, I just started kind of questioning some of the ways they were doing their admissions process. It worked. It was fine. But again, like everything, it changes, especially in the middle of COVID and all of that good stuff, or bad stuff. But we really started looking at their admissions process and seeing that maybe this isn't the best way to track their leads in their admission workflows and customized workflows that I'm sure we'll talk about within EDlumina. So we together kind of both gave our input and built that relationship of like, is this the best way? And then they were like, I don't think so. So it was a lot of back and forth and tag team and just guiding them to actually changing their whole admissions approach,
right,
as you are aware
of. and some of the updates and features that they requested, even from a reporting aspect, we were able to implement those for not only Douglas J, but for all of the EDlumina clients, right?
Mm-hmm. And what I think we pride ourselves on is listening to our clients. So we talk about relationships as listening to what do they need, what upgrades they want, what would really help their business. We take that internally and put that on our roadmap and say, this is a great idea. Let's move this to the top. Let's get it out. Let's push it so that not only Douglas J or an individual client's happy, but we know it's going to be the best thing for everybody across the board.
Yes, Sam, and I think what you just said segues perfect to our second point, which is it's the consultative approach, right? You start to really dig into what are some of the ways that folks operate their admissions departments. And, Sally, maybe get into that a little bit about, what that means, the consultative approach, but also how do you incorporate years of admissions best practices into software implementation?
Yes. So prior to joining Cyanna, my entire career was in admissions. And there's the secret sauce for admissions, two things. You got to have the right people, got to have the right processes. And processes include the platform that you have that your folks are using to manage their leads. And if it's clunky and it takes a lot of clicking and mouse work and rescheduling and things like that, it's just not that productive versus having built-in workflows, having automated messaging, having all of these features that allow representatives to spend more time with students rather than a mouse. I mean, that's really critical when it comes to a productive platform.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a real compliance connection too, because going back to what you said earlier about what are like the big three services at Cyanna, the first one is compliance consulting. And, having worked in schools, one of the first things that either a state regulator or an accreditor will look at is your admissions files, right?
Yeah, of course. And that's where most schools get in trouble. What are your admissions reps doing and saying? And if you can't track what they're doing and saying in a platform to see, did they say that? Can I track their emails? Can I track their text messages? Without compliance, then, you set yourself up to have trouble in the future.
That's right. So I want to turn to you, Ashley, and let's talk about pricing, because I'm sure you work in sales, and it's the biggest question, right? And it's not one size fits all, but talk to us a little bit about this is the number 3 reason why people choose EDlumina. What is the pricing like at EDlumina? How does this work?
Yeah, one of the big things that we, I think, have an advantage on is that we do not charge based on user. So you can have all of your staff have access to EDlumina, which is a huge feature of our platform. So we do not charge based on per user. And then, like you mentioned, we're not one size fits all. So we really do take the time to get to know the school, get to know their situation, get to know their enrollment size and how they're using the platform so that we can give them pricing that fits their needs and fits their school, fits their budget. And then I would say the last piece as well is that often there is not an implementation fee. So as they are going through the process, we're really not trying to nickel and dime them. Like, we are trying to do what's best for them, and we are trying to provide them with a great platform. And so that's what we do best, I would say.
So Sam and I worked at a campus where we had Salesforce, okay? And Salesforce can be expensive. I know a lot of folks have experience with Salesforce out there. It's not exactly written for the education industry. It is really trying to be everything to everyone. But what commonly frustrated us with Salesforce at my old school was, when what we paid for Salesforce necessarily didn't unlock all the features.
Sure.
Right? So I could get some out of Salesforce, but if I wanted X, Y, or Z, I'd have to unlock something further. Sure. Does EDlumina work like that, or when you buy it, do you just get all the bells and whistles?
Yes, that is another thing. So when we do a demo of whether it's our admissions platform or also our student information system, I am always very upfront that everything that you are seeing in this demo is included in the price that I'm giving to you. There are no hidden fees. Again, we are not secretive or sneaky in that aspect. So no, everything that you get when you look at our platform is included in the monthly cost.
Great.
Yes.
So as we move to our reason number 4, which is implementation, right? So someone says, all right, I like you guys. I want to work with you. I like the platform. I like what I see. I like what you promised. Where the rubber hits the road is the implementation, right? And so, Sam, this is really your wheelhouse here. What does an implementation involve?
I think it goes back to the consultative approach. Again, we really take time that first meeting to tell me how you run your school today. We look at that together, kind of let it digest. They see it. We build it, by the first, or usually by the first meeting, I already have their instance built. And once we go through that, does this make sense? And then we really start questioning, like, oh, is this really your process? So again, and it's with implementation, it's a lot of sending them home with homework and me home with homework. So the next time, or action items is what we call them, as I'm sure all your clients know. And the next time we meet, we can kind of talk about those and check those boxes off and move on to the next thing. So we kind of keep that on a running, agenda, so we are all on the same page. And again, it's just, I don't know.
That's okay.
I don't know.
So, but what's it like for a campus that has no CRM, right, versus a school who's already on a CRM that they've been trying to get implemented, or that they're just frankly not happy with? What are some of the differences there, in between those two types?
Sure. Sometimes with people that don't have a system in place, we are building an admissions process and, tweaking it here and there, where someone who already has a system in place, they seem to find that it is very user-friendly. They can hop right in and use it. I feel that that's the same as someone who has nothing. They hop right in and they can get it, get things moving within the system pretty quickly. In an implementation, typically the first or second time we meet, they're in the system working, either adding leads manually, and again, putting students in and just working them that way to make sure that really is their process. So we do a lot of plug and play, I guess. We get them in as soon as possible, too. Okay.
So I've heard some horror stories, right? We have some clients that have come over because they're a year down the road and their implementation isn't done. But Sully, from a best case scenario, we have this amazing case study that you guys were able to accomplish. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the origins of EDlumina, the original concept was that clients could go on and spin up their own instance on the website without anybody ever having to help them. And then we found out, well, you do need to have some support.
Back to the consultative approach.
But that aspect of that ease of use, that ability to jump right in and start using it, led to our recent case study of implementing an 8-campus group in 4 days. Wow. From the time we started to the time they were all using it, 4 days. And we really took a step back and looked at it and said, we could make sure our implementation processes go faster for the client's sake, not for our sake, but for them using it and really seeing the benefit of that. And that's been great because we know some competitors take months to implement. It's like, we don't understand how that can be.
And so one of the final pieces of the implementation process for schools is getting it connected to their website, right? Any modern marketing, setup, you got to collect leads from your website into your CRM. I'm going to self-plug here. We help with that here at Scholar House Media. But, we've seen this start from folks who are just getting their first, modern website to folks that have a massive multi-campus setup. So that is something to consider as well. All right, so number 4 was fast implementation. We're going to get to number 5 here, which is really a testament to these colorful people sitting at this table with me here, which is the U.S.-based customer service. Talk to us. So folks need training. They need support. Something goes wrong where they're onboarding new staff, right? Tell us, Ashley, a little bit about what the customer support is like with EDlumina.
Yeah, our customer support is fantastic. So not only do you have access to all of us, but you have access to our support team. We are very quick to reply, we are responsive, and we are quick to fix anything if there are any issues that a customer is facing. And I would say the biggest thing too is we are US based, and most of our clients, we do work with clients that are all over the world, but majority of our clients are in the US. And some of the issues that other people have run into when they work with companies that are not US based are time zone issues, and a matter of getting a hold of someone and having things handled in an appropriate manner and on the right time frame. And we've heard stories of other clients that have gone with a company that is not US based, and they've had to do their implementation at 2:00 in the morning. It's like mind blowing to me. And so our support, I always do stress that when I talk to a prospect, I just say to them, I'm like, look, first of all, you're communicating with me on my cell phone. If you ever need something, this is my cell phone number. You can call me, you can text me, and we're there to support you. And then beyond that, we will never ask you to do a 2 a.m. implementation or anything like that. So being US based, having our team, our tech team, everyone here based out of Central Ohio, and never outsourcing anything, I think is a huge thing for our company.
That's great. So there you have it, the top 5 reasons why cosmetology schools and schools in general really choose the EDlumina platform. Guys, thank you so much for the time today. Sully, tell them where they can find you online.
Yes, so interested in Cyanna or EDlumina, go to Cyanna, www.cyanna.com, and then you'll see a lot of our smiling faces there as well. And reach out to us if you have any questions. Love to talk to you.
Yep, and if you're on the road at any of the upcoming cosmetology industry conferences, vocational training conferences, look for the Cyanna booth. You can meet Ashley, Sam, or Sully there and get your own individual, like a demonstration, more information, talk about your unique situation at your unique skill, at your unique school. So check it out, Cyanna.com. Guys, thanks for the time today.
Thank you.
Thanks.